There we go. Angelic Killing Certificate, Part 6. Now you know the tools. Now you know how to create your field of energy, your vortex. And you've been experiencing it already a few times. So it is about time for you now that you do it on your own. Yes, I will be there to guide you, to assist you, to tweak things there and there on your vortex, and we'll work from there. So I'm going to leave you already a few minutes for you to be able to create to be centered on your crystal ball, to visualize it shining, and then expanding as well, and then creating your auric field on bright white shining energy. And that way, as soon as this is done, then we'll be able to process through this creation of the vortex. So I leave you a few seconds, few minutes, so you'll be able to do that. You can start now. Remember as you do that to breathe in and breathe out, to be aware of your breathing. Remember to increase the brightness evenly from every part, each direction. Good. Be sure that your auric field is evenly shining as well, and not bigger on one side or smaller on the other, and that your body really sits in the middle of it. As you were doing this, you probably had a lot of thoughts as well coming towards you, trying to remember what was the next step and how to do it. Remember that everything has to be centered and controlled and managed from the soul, not from your mind. And all the thoughts that come along, that come towards you in this process, you visualize white bubbles coming out of your mind, and you visualize that way all those different thoughts being released from your mind, freeing the mind for your soul to be able to be more empowered. Same way when you've got physical blockages and pains in your own body, you definitely want to release those things at the same time. You do not want to hold those pains, as they are going to be limiting you in this process of creating this field of energy, especially when you're going to raise your frequency level. At one point the pain is going to be too hard, too strong, too intense, and you will have to deem the intensity that you're working with in order for this pain to be bearable. So you might as well just get rid of those pains right away. This will allow you to raise higher. And let me remind you how to clear those physical pains and blockages when they come along. You stay focused on your crystal ball, and at the same time you visualize from the location of the pain, it might be the shoulder, and you visualize a white fog coming out of the shoulder. This white fog gets lighter and lighter, gets higher and higher, gets thinner and thinner, and breaks down into fine tiny particles of energy to be used again by the universe. By doing this, You just transform all those blockages, all those energies being anchored and centered and blocked there on your own shoulder, on your own location. Those tools, you can use them as many times as you wish. Remember the bubbles for your mind and the white fog for the pains. The pains, of course, can be located anywhere, and it really works very well as well for emotions. If you are experiencing anger, pains, and or distress, those are definitely emotions that you don't want to have in you when you're creating your field of energy. You definitely want to have a very positive energy. You want to feel very enthusiastic. You want to be feeling very happy. Of course, you can be creating a field of energy in order to change this field, these emotions that you are in. And that's the beauty of it. Imagine that you feel a little bit sad, and at one point you just feel that you want to create a field of energy of happiness, and take a shower of happiness, and that way you'd be able to transform your sadness and your emotions. So it's a very good way for using this field of energy as well. And now, as you're centered, as your auric field is strong and shining, you're going to visualize and to create at the start the 4 spheres. So I let you do this. I give you, let's say 30 seconds to create those 4 spheres. Remember that you really wish them to be evenly round, and also to be totally identical from each other and shining from each different direction. And at the same time, you really want to be always centered on your crystal ball during all this process. And you want to keep focusing on your breathing. Good. How does it feel? Good, huh? You're able to visualize more and more details on those crystal ball. You're able to feel its texture. You're able to feel its shining energy already. The more you will practice with this exercise of creating this field of energy, the more you'll be able to tune into more specific nuances, differences, changes. You'll be able to tune into more subtle energies and find the differences between all those different details. From all your different senses, just not your eyes or your inner perceptions, but from all of them. Your emotions also would be part of this process and helping you in order to build this strength as well. And now, I would like you to link the 4 spheres with an energy, thread of energy, from sphere number 1 to sphere number 4, going through 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll let you do it right now. That's good. And now visualize that this thread of energy becomes as big as the crystal balls itself, and it has to be evenly as well, everywhere the same diameter. now. Below those 4 spheres, and below as well this structure that you've been creating, linking the 4 spheres, I would like you to visualize this 2 centimeter ceiling which is connected to those 4 spheres and to the structure. I'll let you do this right now. Good. Be sure that in the corners, in each corner, you have the same brightness as well, the same density everywhere for this ceiling. The same texture as well and density everywhere. You can feel it. Sometimes you can even put your hands in the air and feel this field of energy that you've been creating. That's very important as well, that you can sense that if there is a resistance before you go through this field of energy, you can touch it. It's like some energy rebouncing, like a trampoline a little bit. And then if you want, yes, you can go through and you can feel the field of energy nurturing all your fingers when they go through that field. But you really want to be staying from the outside and just looking at the texture. Again, if per any chance you had to go and put your finger through this field, you know that it will be able by itself to close itself and to restructure itself. So that's one of the properties of this field of energy. Now, fill up all the space between this ceiling of energy and the actual ceiling of the room. Fill it up completely with white pure divine energy. Good. Sometimes you have to move this energy inside of the volume to be sure that everything is properly adjusted and properly set up. And well, last tool that you need to create are your 2 buttons for the type of frequency and for the intensity. I'll let you visualize those 2 tools and to be centered and focused on your crystal ball always. Good. Good. Now, I would like you to change the type of frequency and change the type of frequency to pink quartz. So you're going to tell me pink quartz, John, that's a stone. How can I tune to the pink quartz energy? Well, you're going to picture a clear quartz and you're going to feel guided with your left hand, touching and holding this button and turning this button until you feel that you are connected with the crystal, with the pink quartz crystal. You use your heart again to help you to be centered on this this energy. And you use your heart as your GPS. And you have to go with this with faith and trust. you understand how important it is that you are not holding onto some emotions already that could be affecting your judgment and your ability to perceive and to be connected. It's like having a windshield that's kind of dusty and muddy. It's a little bit difficult and confusing in order to be able to see your actual landscape and where you're heading. Works the same way. I like to give you images, pictures, so you are able to associate what we say with things that you can remember. So, how are we with the pink quartz energy? Let's double check that. There you go. Right there. That's it. And now as soon as it's set, you just leave it like that. Yes, it is possible to work remotely on another field of energy. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm accessing your field of energy in order to help you to tweak a few changes there and there. How is this possible? Well, I'm more than happy to help you, to guide you, and to teach you those different tools in probably teaching 4, and definitely looking forward to do that with you. Now, I would like you to increase the intensity, and you're going to feel that as you're going to increase the intensity, your soul is going to start to wish to rise and to connect more directly with this field of energy, feeling magnetized towards this, attracted towards this field of energy. So you really want to be centered and focusing on your crystal ball. So I let you do it, and I want you to increase the intensity progressively as high as you can. But when you feel that it becomes difficult for your body and your auric field starts to shake, then you dim it a little bit. I don't want you to go at your maximum, just a knot a little bit lower than that. Keep increasing it, keeping increasing it. You can go higher than that. It's all about believing that the limit is further than what we see. That's how we're able to push our boundaries and limits and to go further. Good. The energy is strong. Now be sure that the energy field is even from left and right. So you also want to double check that your field of energy is emitting energy from everywhere the same way, not more on the right side than the left side. I know, there are a lot of parameters to take care of. Keep breathing in and breathing out gently. Stay centered on your crystal ball. Let me help you and rise the intensity. There you go. As I raise the intensity for you right now, you start to feel that your body starts to manifest some physical pains at different locations. It can be at the back of your lower back, on the right side at 2 different spots. It can be at the top of one ear. It can be an emotion that pops up and suddenly feels like you're getting pinched in your chest. So what you do is you hold on to that intensity, and you use this other tool that you know by visualizing white clouds coming out of those physical pains, and you visualize those white clouds getting lighter and lighter, whiter and whiter, getting higher and higher, and breaking down into fine tiny particles of energy to be used again by the universe as free energy. Good. You might have heard also your back cracking, changes, physical changes being manifested instantly as those pains are being released. That's the beauty of it. That's instant healing and manifestation. So let me explain what happened just now. When we increase our level of frequency by ourselves or through a field of energy in which we feel surrounded, we are basically getting more and more sensitive to the frequency that we are in or that we are creating. As a consequence, the little tiny blockages that were okay and acceptable at a lower intensity for ourselves start to be a problem at a higher intensity. Let me give you an example. Well, few little pieces of sand won't make much difference on your skin as you're not wearing any clothes. But as you start putting some clothes on, they're going to rub against your skin and you're going to feel irritated. But the faster you're going to go with that clothes on your skin, the more it's going to be itchy and the more it's going to scratch. It works the same way with energy. As you increase the intensity, the little tiny blockages becomes more important to take care of. Let's put it that way. Okay? Now, I would like you to dim the intensity to half of its intensity. Suddenly you will feel as you go through this process that your heartbeat changes as well. How interesting. Yeah, because we're talking about change of atmospheric pressure. That's exactly what's happening. We're dropping the intensity and suddenly there is a change of pressure. And the body reacts to that. Progressively, you're going to be able to deal with it in a much better way without being affected by it. But at the start, you're definitely going to feel it. Now, I would like you to start changing the type of frequency, so the first button close to you, and this time we're going to go towards Himalaya energy. It's a very grounding energy, and at the same time it opens up so much potential for us. So yes, you might also feel a change of temperature, correct? And when you will breathe in and breathe out, you will also feel that the air, the particles that you're breathing in and breathing out are different as well. Correct. By changing the type of frequency, we're changing more than just energy levels. We are changing a lot of different perceptions. And I help you to tune into the exact frequency of Himalaya, remotely accessing to your own vortex of energy. There you go. You might see as well and perceive as well as we do those changes that you might see on the screen itself some frequencies changing. That can be also affecting the lights and all those different contents. As we are on that type of frequency, you can feel that your third eye is definitely pulsing. It's definitely very activated. And it makes us a little bit dizzy. So when you do feel that dizziness, remember, it's all about feeling more and more centered on your crystal ball. This will help you to feel more and more grounded, and suddenly, as the energy will settle in, you will not feel dizzy anymore. All right? Keep breathing in and breathing out gently as you stay focused on that type of frequency. Now, progressively, I would like you to start playing with the intensity and increasing progressively the intensity of this Himalaya frequency. And I would like you to start to increase it gently, progressively. And again, go as high as you can. And when you reach that intensity, lower the intensity by just 1 knot. Good. Emotions can come along as well. Impatience as well. So when those emotions come along, remember, you put everything on pause, so nothing can change, can be altered, except the work that you're doing on yourself by working on those different emotions. You visualize this crystal ball as you stay focused on it, and you visualize white fog coming out of your solar plexus. And as you breathe in and breathe out gently, visualize this fog, this white fog getting lighter and lighter, getting higher and higher, breaking down into fine tiny particles of energy to be used again by the universe. Great. Progressively, you're handling those tools and playing with those tools exactly when you need them. Because that's what counts. It's being able to put pause on the task that you're doing in order to do something else. Start something new and then tweak this and tweak that. Remember, you're the one in charge. You are controlling and you are mentoring all those different settings. The more you're going to be able to be tuning into what's needed at the right timing, then your work will be more and more accurate. Progressively, you will not need to pause one task in order to complete another one. You will be able to be multitask and launching programs by themselves, so you will be able to focus on something else. That way, you can work with up to 20, 30 different programs running at the same time. One program to heal a shoulder, another one healing a physical pain on the stomach, an emotional pain as well, many different ones. And for each of those different clouds coming up and being released and transformed, you can visualize a certain length of that work being achieved during the time period, and also working on very specific frequencies as well. Those are all the different parameters that we will be working through the Angelic teaching 1 and teaching 2, for example. As you can see, there are different sequences, and as soon as you're going to be able to master those different tools, you'll be able to move on to using more and more abilities with this field of energy. This Angelic Vortex really gives you all the tools already to be able to play with those different frequencies, to change a lot of different parameters in your environment and be able to heal you by creating a field of energy around you and changing this type of frequency. The further teachings will be giving you extra tools on how to blend those different tools related to different events that can happen during a session. Now, how are we doing with the intensity? Were you able to sustain your own vortex? Was it difficult when I was talking to be able to focus on what you were doing? Were you still able to notice the changes inside of you and outside of you as well? Were you still be able to pick up all the content that I was delivering at the same time to you? At the beginning, it's normal to feel overwhelmed or not to remember exactly what happened and in which order it did happen. Remember, this is a course, but at the same time it's a training, and it is normal to be challenged, because I want you to experience all the different possibilities that can happen during a session or when you will be performing your fields of energy, your vortex. And I want you to be able to experience them here, so when you will be able to do it on your own, you will find that very easy for you. That's the whole concept and whole idea. Now, I would like you to be changing the type of frequency as you will be changing the intensity. I want you to dim the intensity and bring it back at the same time to pure divine light. I want you to feel this time, because we're going to be working on two different layers. One will be the type of frequency, the other one will be the intensity. Two fields that are to be working together. And I'll let you do it now. Yes, you can feel that there are energies moving inside, and those fields of energy are almost like creating interactions between each other. Correct. It's always important to notice what we are experiencing and being able to understand them from our soul, not from our mind. It is very important that we're able to do that. Your throat might be also a little bit blocked. Remember, the throat is our capacity to express what we want to showcase to the world. Any physical pain, you work the same way, remember? A white cloud coming out of this place, this location. This white cloud gets lighter and lighter, whiter and whiter, higher and higher, and finally break down into tiny particles of energy to be used again by the universe. as free energy. All right? You can feel that your third eye feels lighter and that you feel as well more enlightened. This is due to several different parameters. One of them is due to the fact that we've been using a sequence of different type of frequencies. Let me explain that to you. When you create a field of energy, it is like creating a note of music. When you change the intensity, it's like creating this note of music with more intensity to be heard even more out loud, further away with more intensity. All right? Now, when you do play another type of frequency, let's say that you're changing the type of frequency, you're creating another note of music, right? With another specific intensity. When you keep doing this, one frequency after another, you create a sequence of frequencies. Those sequence of frequencies are unique. We've been going from pure divine light, we've been walking, then, if I remember correctly, we went through Himalaya, we went through a pink quartz prior to that. Those different frequencies in that specific order help you to work on specific tasks. You will be guided by your soul to pick up, to choose the type of frequency, to pick up and choose the intensity, the length for which you're going to be exposed to this field of energy, and the modulation as well of your intensity, the speed at which you're going to increase to a level and then increase to another one. Every single detail is going to be taken in account. It is like creating a symphony. So you're going to tell me, John, when we create a symphony, there are different instruments. Yes, correct. What I'm giving you right now is a tool on how to create a field of energy, how to create a vortex. Progressively, we could be dealing as well with several vortexes. And instead of visualizing only this vortex coming from the ceiling, we could be visualizing it coming from the walls as well, from all four walls, and from the floor as well, and playing with all those different vortexes at once, linking them all to only 2 buttons, or working separately and having 12 buttons to play with, meaning 6 different vortexes. As you can see, the universe of possibilities being open with the fields of energy, those vortexes, are infinite. There are so many different ways of using them. There are so many tools that we can be adding to it, and there are so many different parameters that we can tweak and change. We'll get back to that, definitely. But I want you also to start thinking about the fact that even this field of energy that is being emitted, you can be also working on the type of diameter of those energies coming towards you, the thickness of each of those different particles of energy. There are so many different parameters that we can do. You can even encode those different particles with different colors, different shapes. It's endless. I leave that to you. And again, remember to drink a glass of water after each session. For today, I will be closing down the fields of energy on your side and my side. All right, talk to you soon.